guys. So this is What Music Means to Me, and today I wanted to talk about Megan Thee Stallion's song Cobra that was released on Friday, as well as the music video associated with that song. So Cobra itself, kind of what it represents is, this newfound sense of resiliency, kind of confidence when overcoming different obstacles. I think too, when it comes to snakes in general, they shed their skin, so it's almost like a new phase of life. So whatever situation she has been in, it's like, okay, I want to kind of shed this off. I've been through it. Now let's kind of move forward. Not saying those things didn't happen, but let's kind of have this new stage going forward. And I think within this song, she goes into a lot of different details when it comes to her own life. She's not diving in like, this is exactly what happened, but she just goes through different experiences that she has had where, with losing loved ones, her mental health, trauma, past relationships. She kind of goes into some of these different topics where I think in some way, shape, or form people can really relate to. And that's where I think a lot of people enjoy the song for that, like those reasons, as well as because it's so vulnerable, because it's so raw. It's almost like, okay, let's see, again, kind of like with the snake, with the cobra similarities and metaphor there. What's kind of going to come going forward? So essentially what I wanted to do today is kind of walk through the lyrics, go through some of these, I would say, verses and lyrics, some of the lines that I would say have a lot of the true talking points or some of the things that I think a lot of people are really honing in on and talking about and what they mean in the sense of what Megan's kind of talking about, or I think for just everyone kind of listening, where they relate to the most when it comes to this. So when it comes to this first verse in general, I think that's where we get some little references in regards to her own personal life, what she was going through, as well as I think what a lot of other people can relate to as well, where it starts with breaking down and had the whole world watching, but the worst part is really who watched me. Every night I cried, I almost died, and no one else tried to stop me. Long as everyone getting paid right, everything will be okay, bright. I'm winning, so nobody tripping. Bet if I ever fall off, everybody go missing. So, from my understanding of this, just in general, in the case of for her, I think for any celebrity, I feel always have this conversation of as a celebrity, as an artist, you are always in the public eye. Anything that you do, it's going to be reported on, it's going to be stated, it's always going to be all eyes on you. And if you act in any way that is not like picture perfect, that isn't, squeaky clean in regards to just like, I don't even want to say acting normal, but if it's not just, oh, I'm walking from my car, like I'm walking from point A to point B, and maybe you do something like, I don't know, have fun, not nothing outrageous, but you just live, it's going to at times be taken out of context. And especially too, if you are going through something I feel traumatic, it is especially going to be exploited. It's going to be something where, where is, celebrity XYZ? Where, what is happening? And if you act in a way where for yourself, if you're grieving, if you are, feeling any sort of way, and you act on those feelings, and they're not also positive, again, it's going to be, stories saying whatever, doing whatever. And I think the thing here is also saying, as a celebrity, you have your team, But in some cases, you could say, fake friends, people who pretend to care, but do they really care? They are here to make money. They are here to take things from you. And in the end, you have nobody. In the end, you are kind of on your own. So where she says, every night I cried, I almost died, and no one close tried to stop me. It's because no one really knew or cared enough to take that extra hey, Megan is acting a little not the same. What is kind of going on there? And the thing is if nothing has happened, doesn't really matter. As long as everyone's getting paid, as long as everyone's getting what they need, it's all good for, kind of for them. It doesn't really matter. And then as, the verse kind of continues, you have, at night, I'm sitting in a dark room thinking, probably why I always end up drinking. Yes, I'm very depressed. How can somebody so blessed want to, self-harm? I'd probably bleed out some Pinot when they find out I'm in Valentino. So a lot of this, I think for a lot of people, they can relate to in a lot of different ways when it comes to how do you handle your mental health. For some people, they go towards alcohol, drug, because it numbs the pain. Anything to kind of drown out thoughts, to I think assist in some way with not having to, in some cases I would almost say face the problem. That is what some people resort to. Some people it's different. Like for some, as the line kind of suggests, they take forms that are, hey, I am feeling a sort of way inside. If I release that pain in a different way, I maybe won't feel that pain anymore inside. And then you just, you don't think about it, you don't feel it. But for others, it is very much a mental game. If you drown in your thoughts and you think a lot and you don't have anyone to talk to about it, it becomes a state where, okay, maybe it's, just different things kind of pop up in your mind where it's, well, maybe, these things are better if I am not here. So when she talks about Pinot and when she talks about Valentino, Pinot is a red wine, kind of referencing, again, bleeding out some Pinot. It's red. And they may find me in Valentino. Valentino, the signature color there is mostly red. So a lot of that subtly is also talking about, I would say, just different mental health struggles as well. And as we get down to the second verse, we have, man, I miss my parents, way too anxious, always cancel my plans, pulled up, caught him cheating, someone else was in the bed. Lord, give me a break. I don't know how much more of this I can take. How long you've been worried about me, telling people that it's not me. Telling people that it's not me. So here again, it's with the anxious thoughts, with different things that you're feeling, and especially too with that personal touch of, if you are close with whomever, hey, I've lost you. Now I really have no one to talk to about different things. And if you don't feel like going out, you don't feel like going out, so you cancel your plans, because of it. Now, one particular area here is definitely more related to a relationship situation where, essentially there is some cheating going on. There are things where it's, hey, caught him cheating and it was essentially in my bed. And now it's kind of this, okay, I don't know how much more of this, like what else are you gonna kind of throw at me? Because I don't know, like another thing just kind of tacked on. I don't know how much more like I can kind of do at this point. And so that's where too I think when it comes to this song, what, you know, with it being Cobra, what it represents, and especially too as we get into the next verse where I think it delves into more like, hey, this is the next phase. Like, I've kind of been through all of these things. I feel like now I can kind of do anything, because the verse continues on to say, honestly, I kind of feel like you plotting, watching, why is it you speaking on me at my lowest when you acted like you ain't noticed. I was tripping, going crazy, and they low-key hating, so they ain't gonna say anything. Damn, I finally see it. I'm killing myself when people would die to be me. And that's essentially what it is too. Like, I think a lot of this, and that's where for some people it is kind of that boust of like, kind of, I don't want to even say like rooting for yourself or like pumping your ego a little bit, but it is in the sense of like, when you are wherever you are in life, if you have something that you are accomplishing and maybe other people just aren't, it's something where you kind of have to up yourself if you are in a situation, I would say almost similar to this, where it's, you know, everyone's watching you, and now it's, you know, I'm kind of at my lowest, you never really noticed kind of what was happening, what was going on, you didn't care, and now everybody, you know, somebody is hating, something is going on, and you finally come to the realization where it's not to kind of get through it, but again, it's, you know, if you kind of look at your life and look at the different things that maybe you have, it's, yeah, people would kind of die to be in my position where, yeah, I've had some loss. Some of these things have happened, but luckily, you know, I'm in a position where I'm still here. Like, I've made it through. I've been resilient, can kind of shed this skin and hopefully kind of continue on, move on, and put some of that in the past behind you. That's where I think this song in particular, a lot of people, like, a lot of people are fans of Megan to begin with. She's had a lot of fantastic songs. This one, just with some of the different topics she speaks about, maybe going a little bit more in depth subtly, it's just very vulnerable, it's very raw, and it's something where it still has that beat where people can enjoy it for different reasons. But I think that's why people really like this song for a lot of different reasons. So that's kind of my walkthrough on it, my thoughts on it. Feel free to leave any thoughts you may have on the song, something you like about it, some, you know, a song of hers maybe that you also enjoy, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.